Good morning, my dear students. How are you? Hope that you all are doing well. Anyway, once again, welcome back to our online English class. And in the last class, we were discussing about two eminent Indian space women. Yeah, who are they? Yes, Miss Ridhu Karidhal and Miss Nandini Harinath. And it was really an inspirational one to know more about their lifespan, how they became powerful and how they managed all those difficulties and how they set a particular dream in their life and how they managed to achieve everything they dreamt. So, in that way, it was really an inspirational story for every one of us. Now, I think that you are more eager to know about the third woman, Miss Anuradha Tikhe. Anyway, let us have a detailed discussion about the lifespan of Anuradha Tikhe. Okay. Now, take page number 58 and let us go on reading the chapter. Now, we are moving on to the last space woman, Anuradha Tikhe. Anuradha Tikhe is also an employee at ISRO. She is GeoSat Program Director at ISRO Satellite Center. For this most senior woman officer at ISRO, the sky is the limit. So, Anuradha Tikhe is regarded as a senior officer comparing to Miss Nandini Harinath and Miss Ridhu Karidhal. Miss Anuradha specializes in sending communication satellites into space that sit at least 36,000 kilometers from the center of the earth. So, Anuradha Tikhe is actually well versed in her contribution in sending communication satellites. So, I have mentioned already in the beginning of this class about Google Map. So, Google Map is actually a result of a communication satellite. So, we are getting the route map of every places through a particular satellite that has been launched some days before. Okay. So, and we can also say that we predict the climate change. How we predict the climate change? Yeah, we predict the climate change with the help of communication satellite. So, Anuradha Tikhe is actually a person well versed in sending communication satellites. It was actually her area. This distinguished scientist, what do you mean by distinguished? Distinguished is actually an important and respected by other people. So, Anuradha Tikhe is a scientist who is respected and important by her colleagues. This distinguished scientist who has worked with ISRO for the past 34 years. So, Miss Ridhu Karidhal has only 18 years of experience, I think, at ISRO. Yeah. And when coming to Miss Nandini Harinath, she has 20 years of experience. But coming to the third person, she has 34 years of experience. So, we can imagine how experienced she is. 34 years, first thought about space when she was 9. So, she also developed an interest in the things related to space from her early childhood. And she started thinking about space at the age of 9. That means when she was studying in which grade? 4th or 3rd or 4th grade. So, in that way, she showed interest in things related to space right from her earlier childhood. It was the Apollo launch when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. We had no television in those days. So, this is actually an experience she had in her early childhood. She is now speaking about what? speaking about the successful landing of the scientist known as Neil Armstrong on moon. The first man landed on moon. And at that time, she remembered those days. It was actually in her childhood days. At that time, we had no television. I heard about it from my parents and teachers. So, she gathered the information from her teachers and parents. It really ignited the imagination. And at that time, from the time she came to know that Neil Armstrong, a person called Neil Armstrong, landed on the moon, she was simply thinking about how this happened. How this happened. So, in that way, her mind and her brain and her thoughts were ignited. I wrote a poem on a man landing on the moon in Kannada, my native language. And she even wrote a poem praising the successful story of a man who landed on the moon. So, in that way, she was completely involved in things related to space. Considered a role model by other women scientists at ISRO, Ms. Anuradha disagrees that women and science do not gel. That means, what do you mean by so? According to Anuradha, she says that there is a saying that women and science do not gel. What do you understand from that? Yeah, if you are a woman, a job relating to space is not a suitable job for you. That means science and women do not gel. That means do not work together. If you are a woman, it is better to opt a teaching job or something like that. You are not fit for a space job. If you are a woman, you don't have anything in the field of science and technology. So, such kind of a attitude was prevalent in the beginning days, especially in India. The society branded women for doing something. The women do something just opposite to that, then the entire society would start branding them that, yeah, she is not that much good or she is very brave. In that way, negative connotations they would definitely give to such kind of women. So, Anuradha here disagrees with such kinds of attitudes. I never liked subjects where I needed to remember a lot, and science looked logical to me. So, Anuradha is actually very much interested in the subjects which requires logical thinking. So, in that way, she is very much interested in science subject. She do not like subjects which need us to remember a lot. I don't believe that Indian girls think science is not meant for them, and I think maths is their favorite subject. So, that like what I just said now. So, Indian women think that maths is actually the suitable subject for women, and they think that science is not meant for them. So, that is actually the meaning of the statement, women and science do not gel. When she joined ISRO in 1982, there were only a few women on the staff and even fewer in its engineering department. So, that is actually the thing which I mentioned right now. In the beginning days, especially in Indian context, people think that these are some jobs which are suitable to women. So, actually, the clear evidence is this sentence itself. When she joined ISRO in 1982, there were only a few women on the staff. So, Anuradha TK joined ISRO 34 years ago. That means in 1982. In 1982, when she joined ISRO, there were only a few women members. That itself shows that the society would the society would never encourage women to go to such fields. That means the society would never encourage women to seek such kinds of jobs. But now what is the condition? And even fewer in its engineering department, and only a few persons were in the engineering department. Few persons mean few female persons in the engineering department. In my batch, 5 or 6 women engineers joined ISRO. So there were only 5 or 6 women engineers in the engineering department when she joined there. So we stood out and everyone knew us. Yeah, that you know. There are only 5 or 6 engineers, 5 or 6 women engineers when she joined in the engineering department. So naturally everyone would know them because only a few women members are there. But now what is the condition? Today more than 20-25% of ISRO's 16,000 employees are women. So give a clap. So this is the achievement women made presently. So when she proudly says that when she joined at ISRO, there were only a few women staff, but now 20-25% of the total 16,000 employees are women. So it is actually a change, a notable change that definitely affected the progress of our nation. So that has to be appreciated, that has to be welcomed warmly. And we no longer feel special, she laughs. Okay. So in the beginning time, everyone knew them because only 5 or 6 women members are there. But now no one knew them because there are so many women members. So in that way she presented it in a very laughing manner. But she is very proud to say that women are extending their service to each and every corner. That is really appreciable. Okay. Ms. Anuradha dismisses the suggestion that her colleagues consider her an inspiration, but agrees that having more women in the workplace can be a motivating factor for other women. So her colleagues always considered her as an inspiring woman. Whenever the colleagues came nearer to her, they would definitely praise her. You are a motivating figure for us. But at that time, Anuradha dismisses. Anuradha says that working with such a huge women crew itself is a motivation. At that time she says that no, more than that, I also get motivated or I also get inspired when working with such a huge women crew. Agrees that having more women in the workplace can be a motivating factor for other women. So working with a huge women crew itself gives him a courage, itself gives a motivation. Once girls notice that there are lots of women in the space program, they will also get motivated. They will think if she can do it, so can we. So once a girl child noticed that there are so many women in ISRO, then they will also try to reach there. They will simply think like this: if they can do, I can also do. So in that way, the participation of women in all those areas can simply be increased, and that itself turned as another inspiration for the rest of the women population. So in that way, the condition of the women in the society can be uplifted. Okay. Although the number of women staff has been growing steadily at ISRO, it is still way below the halfway mark. So, even though presently there is 25% of the total employees are women, it is only halfway below the mark. It is only below 50%. Okay, that is something awful. That is something unpleasant. That is because we are still carrying cultural loads on our bikes, and many women think their priorities lie elsewhere at home, she says. And this decrease even in this modern era is only because of the cultural loads. What do you mean by cultural loads? Meaning is given there. The influence of our beliefs. So, you all know India is actually a very, what we can say, India, there are so many superstitious beliefs and there are so many cultural laws that are prevalent in India, in Indian situation, in Indian society. So, Anuradha TK here focuses on the fact that even though 20 to 25% of the total employees are women right now at ISRO, it is below 50%. And how it happens even in this modern era? It is only because of the cultural laws. What do you mean by cultural laws? Yeah, in Indian society, the society will definitely brand something on someone. The society simply thinks that women are supposed to do some jobs and men are supposed to do some jobs. So, such kind of a cultural load is on every woman's shoulder. So, that actually, see for example, if a woman actually wanted to seek a job at ISRO, if she is coming from a very orthodox family, the family members, that means the parents and the parents, neighbors and the relatives will definitely say that no, you are not allowed to go there because you are a woman, you are not supposed to do that kind of jobs. So, such cultural loads are upon the shoulders of every Indians. So, how this percentage will increase? If we are holding such kind of superstitious belief, if we are holding such kind of cultural laws, how this ratio will increase? So, that attitude has to be changed. So, that is actually the point here Anuradha TK mentions. Miss Anuradha's advice to women who want to be rocket scientists is simple. So, now she is giving advice. Make arrangements. So, make arrangements is given in an exclamatory mark. Make arrangements. Once you are determined, do everything to realize your dream. That is very, very important. Once I had made up my mind that I needed a purposeful career where my passion lay, I created a good setup at home. My husband and my parents-in-law were always cooperative, so I didn't have to worry much about my children. So, now she came back to her personal experience. So, when she decided to be a scientist, she worked hard for that and the entire family members were there to support her. So, in that way it was very easy for her to realize her dream. So, I did not have to worry much about my children. I owe my success to the arrangements I made. There are so many girl children in class 7A and 7B. Okay, if you are really want to explore the space, make arrangements. That means you have to prepare your mind right from this moment, and you have to keep that strong desire in your mind, and you have to ignite that desire in each and every minute. And from this, and never postpone things to yet another minute, and work for that today itself, or work for that right now onwards, then definitely you will be a space woman. Okay. You have to give something to get something. That is life. So in life, if you want to get something, you have to do something. Without doing anything, without doing something, you will not get anything. So if I want to be a teacher, I want to do something, then only I will be a teacher. If you want to be a space scientist, you have to do something, then only you will be a space scientist. So if we want to get something, we have to do something. That is life. So when there was work to do, when I was needed at the office, I was here working with passion. And when there was an absolute need for me to be at home, I was there. So we have to lead a balanced life. If your parents needed you, you have to be there. If your teachers needed you, you have to be here. So in that way, you have to learn to lead a balanced life. So when Anuradha's presence needed at the home, she was there. And on the other side, when Anuradha's presence was needed at the office, she was there. So in that way, she led a balanced life. As a result, she became a very successful person, both at her office and at her house. So this we have to learn. So we have to be accountable to our parents, our family members, at the same time to our area. That means where we are working. So in that way, we need to have a balanced life. So this is all about the chapter. I think you get inspired by the story of Miss Ritu Karidhal, Miss Nandini Harinath and Miss Anuradha TK. So make arrangements. That particular phrase should be in your mind. Make arrangements. If you want to be a teacher, make arrangements right now. If you want to be a space scientist, make arrangements right now. If you want to be a pilot, make arrangements right now. If you want to be a loco pilot, make arrangements right now. If you want to anyone else, if you want to be someone else, make arrangements right now. This is the time. Never postpone anything to yet another day. And never think that I am a woman, so I am not expected to dream such kind of a job. Never hold such kind of cultural barriers or such kind of cultural loads on your shoulders. Think freely and live freely. If you want to be a space scientist, you have to achieve that. So never moved by cultural barriers or cultural laws. So this is actually the message, the lifespan of these three women, Miss Ritu Karidhal, Miss Nandini Harinath and Miss Anuradha TK tell us. So I hope that you enjoyed the class very well. It's not because of my class, it is only because of the thrilling story of these three women. So I hope that you understood everything which we discussed today. Now we can move on to the exercises. First of all, you will have 5 questions, and the 5 questions are very simple. So what you have to do is, you have to go to the 5 questions and try to find out the answers of those 5 questions. Anyway, I will share the question answers through the WhatsApp group. Okay. So before that, what you have to do is, you have to go to the question answers and try to find the answers by yourself. Okay. Before going to wind up the session, it is better to know more about these 3 women individually. So let us have a look at their biography. Ritu Karidhal Srivastava is an Indian scientist working with the Indian Space Research Organization. She was a Deputy Operations Director to India's Mars Orbital Mission. which is also called Mangalyaan. She had been referred to as a rocket woman of India. She was born and brought up in Lucknow and is an aerospace engineer. She is now 45-year-old. She secured the ISRO Young Scientist Award, and she was primarily famous for Mars Orbiter mission Chandrayaan-2. Here we are going with the second woman. Ms. Nandini Harinath is a rocket scientist at ISRO Satellite Center in Bengaluru. She is a part of the Mars Orbiter mission Mangalyaan. She has also co-authored a research paper. Now we are going with the third woman. Ms. Anuradha TK is a retired Indian scientist and project director of the Indian Space Research Organization specialized in communication satellites. She has worked on the launches of the satellites like GSAT 12 and GSAT 10. She is now 60-year-old. While we were discussing about these three women, we had already discussed about Mars Orbiter mission. So it is better to know what Mars Orbiter mission is. Mars Orbiter mission, as we have seen in the textbook, is also called Mangalyaan, is a space probe orbiting Mars since 24 September 2014. It is India's first interplanetary mission, which made India the first Asian nation in the world to reach Martian orbit and the first nation in the world to do so on its maiden attempt. Now have a look at the picture. This is a picture of a satellite which is being carried out by the launch vehicle before its blast off. This launch hub is located at Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh, the space port of India, which is responsible for providing launch base infrastructure for the Indian space program. In 2002 onwards, this spaceport is renamed in the name of its former chairman Satish Dhawan, who was a renowned Indian mathematician and aerospace engineer. Now, this launching hub is commonly known as Satish Dhawan Space Center. While we are speaking about Satish Dhawan, it is better to know about the present ISRO chairman too. Meet him. He is our present ISRO chairman, K. Shivan, who was behind the recent Chandrayaan-2 mission.